am Bruce Lorincz, and this show is called Bruce on the Loose. I talk to people throughout Medina County and the City of Wadsworth and also the school system. Nicole Whiteakoff is here with us from the Heartland Community Church in Medina, and also Tom O'Connell. He is the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity, and we're on location taking a look and standing in the Habitat for Humanity house. Tom, what about the national effort to start Habitat for Humanity?
Yeah, so Habitat for Humanity started in 1976. There was a man by the name of Millard Fuller, and he was a successful businessman, doing well for himself, but just kind of went on a soul-searching journey. Sold his business, traveled overseas, and it was actually when he was in Africa that he had his first experience building decent, safe homes for people. He came back to Americus, Georgia, and saw people in his own community living in what he called substandard housing. And he started realizing we could do something about this. And it's not right that our neighbors are living in such conditions. So he started pulling together resources of money and people. And in 1976, him and some volunteers started building safe, decent, affordable homes for people in Americus, Georgia.
We always think about Jimmy Carter being one of the initial people involved. He really probably assisted and got things going, didn't he?
Correct, yeah. So President Carter is what they call one of the most well-known ambassadors of Habitat for Humanity. Still is volunteering. My understanding he's still volunteering as, 95 or 6-year-old man. Still volunteering about once or twice a year on Habitat builds. But yeah, because Habitat started in his home state of Georgia, Millard reached out to him and he got involved in the program and has been a huge ambassador and advocate for what Habitat's doing around the world. Yeah.
All right, 1976 nationally.
Yep.
What about the state of Ohio? Did it follow suit a few years later, and then later Medina County?
Yeah, so Habitat for Humanity here in Ohio started obviously a number of years later, but then locally here in Medina County, we joined this movement in 1991. Built our first house in 1992, and since then we have built 44 homes across Medina County. Here in Wadsworth, Medina, Brunswick, Seville, Lodi, Litchfield, did our first one in Litchfield a couple of years ago. So yeah, 44 homes across Medina County.
So this home on this street here in Wadsworth, is this the 45th or is this the 44th?
This would actually be 47.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Yep,
wonderful.
yep. Mm-hmm.
And then we hear some in the background. We hear some work in the background.
Right.
You have to tell us a good situation that even there's going to be another house next door.
Yeah, so here on Durling, we were fortunate to be able to purchase 2 lots right next door to each other. So yeah, as we stand here in this home, that the walls are up, right next door to us, there's some piece of heavy equipment. They're digging the next basement where this home will start. We're going to get the basement in before winter sets in, and then pick up the project really more in the spring. Because right now we have this house going, we have 2 more in Brunswick. So we're going to be finishing those 2 in Brunswick, this one first, and then jump back on the one right next door, back here on Durling Drive.
Sounds like you have a lot of things on your plate.
There's
a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Nicole, I didn't want to forget you. You're here with us as well.
Yeah.
Why did your church get involved in this project?
Yeah, so a few years ago, we started looking at what are the unmet needs in our community that we as a church family could step into. And what I kept hearing as I talked with our partners and community leaders was we have an affordable housing crisis in Medina County. We have a homelessness issue that many of us don't know about. And at the same time, we were in relationship with Tom. Our lead pastor, Dave Ambrose, has known him for years. I had opportunity to meet him a couple of years ago, right before COVID hit. And after coming out of COVID, we just really felt like one tangible, practical way that we could step into the need of housing, affordable housing, as a church community was to partner with Tom and Habitat. That relationship is really what drives the partnership for us. So we were excited to do it. And Tom and his team have been just amazing.
Well, it's a very challenging time right now for churches with people not sure they want to attend. The giving in some churches have been off a little bit. Isn't this kind of strange timing for your church to really take on this task?
Well, I'll tell you, every year we take a look at what special offering could we be doing, what year end or this year Thanksgiving offering could we come around. We've done we've supported the recovery community in the past, and so we didn't see that this year would be any different, but stepping in to see what God would do. And it's been so clear that he was preparing the hearts of our folks before we even were probably talking about the details, because the whole church community has really moved in a generous way, not only through the funding of the project, which probably came in within the first 3 weeks of opening up the offering, but also volunteers. We've got folks who are coming out every week to be a part of the build. So it's been incredible to see how God's been using it in us and in our church community.
That's amazing. The $60,000 you raised in just about a month period of time.
Praise God. Yeah. That's the Spirit doing his thing, right? Like, that doesn't have anything to do with me or Heartland Community Church. It's just been really exciting for me to see how God's been just preparing the way for us as we faithfully step into it.
And then the congregation, again, stepping forward, and they're doing the bulk of the work, even if they're not carpenters, even if they're
Right.
not craftsmen.
That's
They're
right.
they're finding their niche and helping out.
Yeah, it's really been amazing. We as a staff team came out. I shouldn't be swinging a hammer. That's what we've found out. I'm in the right role. Swinging a hammer is not it. But we literally have some of our folks who have committed to being out at the build site every single week, because there's something that God's doing in them through the opportunity to, again, it's just this tangible, practical step that we can take. We did the initial wall build in our church parking lot. And like you said, church attendance is looking different for us as well. Probably about 45% of those that are worshiping with us on a Sunday are doing so online. But when we announced that we were building walls for this house, right, these walls that we're surrounded by in our church parking lot, we had nearly 200 people come out, which was amazing.
That is remarkable.
Yeah,
You know,
praise God.
speaking of God, and Jesus was traveling, and there was a blind man, Bartimaeus, on the side of the road.
Yes.
And he was boisterous, and he made it known that he would need some help. He was blind. And some people around him said, no, don't bother Jesus. He's busy.
Right,
You know, don't do this. Have there been some people that were kind of naysayers to say, you'll never get this done. It's not accomplishable. And yet, you know, we see this tangible house here, and it's really going well.
It really is. I'm sure we had naysayers. You know, I'm sure we had those folks who kind of questioned, just like you did, like, really, now we're going to step into this? We never heard from them. We just kept hearing folks getting really excited about coming around the project. And I really attribute some of that to how Habitat organizes everything. The fact that we had 200 folks in our parking lot. We're the church. We don't know how to build walls or build a house, but Tom and his team did an incredible job of organizing all those volunteers, and it's been an incredible partnership.
Tom, this was probably a real interesting task for you with money up front, and you didn't have to go to corporations or individuals. And how do people go ahead and contribute to Habitat for Humanity if they, I guess you have a store that helps out?
Yeah, so here at Habitat for Humanity in Medina County, we started a restore a number of years ago. It's been in a few locations. Most of those years we were on East Smith Road, the old Bennett Lumber property there in Medina for a number of years. And then in 2018, we were fortunate to be able to purchase the old Hawkins grocery store on Lafayette Road in Medina. And we rehabbed that building and converted about 36,000 square feet into our restore and our corporate offices. So yeah, our restore is open 4 days a week, Wednesday through Saturday, 9 to 5. It's a building supply store, new and used building supplies. So furniture, appliances, electrical supplies, plumbing supplies, houseware items, new and used items, and revenue from that store, retail store, goes back into our mission. So that's one way revenue comes in. The other is donations from churches like Heartland Community Church, other churches here in our county, local businesses, some local foundations have contributed money, but then also individuals will send checks to our office. People can donate online through our website, medinahabitat.org. So yeah, all of those ways those are ways revenue comes into building more homes here in Medina County.
And that's a good source. They can get on the website and check out. I'm
Absolutely.
sure you have phases where you are on certain houses. They can check a look, take a look there.
Yep. So on our website, every house has a photo gallery. So we update it pretty regularly. So we'll update probably with these pictures today I took today of what's happening up here growing. Yeah.
Nicole, tell me the feeling that you and the congregation will have when this facility is finished, and what relationship will you feel in your mind with the family adopting this home?
Yeah, well, we were actually here in the home earlier this week as a staff team, just praying over the home, the family who we've had an opportunity to meet. Again, for us, that relationship is so important. So just such joy and excitement for what God might be doing through that, but also a challenge of what's next. How do we, as the faith community, not just Heartland Community Church, but the faith community here, continue to step into the needs of our community? And a partnership with Habitat was just an incredible way for us to do it this one time, and we're looking forward to what it could look like to continue that in the future.
We appreciate your leadership, and it certainly takes someone to go ahead and get the things off the ground, and you certainly have to take a great deal of pride, and you feel so good about this project, and it's certainly on its way, and it's going to be finished coming up, and the family is going to be able to take a home ownership. I mean, that alone is one of the American dreams, isn't it?
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's what we love too, is just that we're pouring into this family to take that next step of what God might have for them, just the way Habitat provides to them, and that gives us an avenue, like I said, to just practically step into that. So we're excited for it.
We thank Jared for helping tape us today, this fine show, and we will be back in a minute. We're going to let Nicole do some of the other activities she has during the day, and we'll be back in a second. We're back with Bruce on the loose. We're inside one of the back bedrooms, I think, Tom.
This is.
And why don't you go ahead and tell us where we are here and the layout of the building.
Yeah, so this home, we're standing in one of the bedrooms. Most of our homes, including this home here on Durling Drive, are 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. A couple of them have 2 baths, but this one will have 1 bath. This one has a basement, full basement underneath here. Our homes are about 1,300 square feet, 2-car garages. But yeah, we're in the one of 3 bedrooms here on this home on Durling Drive today.
Looks like I think Jared got pictures of the backyard.
Yeah.
Looks like a nice backyard. You
Yeah.
can put some equipment there for the kids, the swings and some other things if they desire.
Right, yeah, this is a really nice setting here in Wadsworth, especially as you can see with the walking path directly behind this home. And it's close to the school, high school's right up the road, so it's just a really nice setting here in Wadsworth for this home.
You know, with COVID, we talked to Nicole a little bit about her challenges with parishioners stepping up during COVID. I would imagine you've got a couple gray hair there in regards to getting materials and supplies.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, and tell us how you work through that.
Yeah, so early on, 2020, even into 2021, the cost of materials was going up pretty drastically. Cost of lumber specifically. Our lumber packages in 2020 and some in 2021 went up about $12,000 to $15,000 just for the amount of wood we use on our homes. Now that's come down, which is great, but materials are still continuing to rise. The cost of materials are continuing to rise. Another challenge with COVID is supply, getting stuff here on time. A lot of our materials are delayed. One of the things maybe we don't think about a lot is appliances. We put appliances in these homes, and the delivery times are delayed by months because of a lot of supply chain matters and issues. But we do our best to make decisions early to try to give enough time for materials to get here, for supplies to get here. But again, it just comes back to, as we talked about earlier, about fundraising. And as costs of materials go up, we have to increase our fundraising efforts to try to get more dollars in to help buy these materials.
You know, I was involved last year. We moved, and we didn't want people coming in the house with COVID, tag sales or anything. We donated many items to Habitat for Humanity, and
Mhm.
it really not only helps, it really helped us,
Mhm.
but it helped the people coming in with trucks,
Right.
got our furniture, and
Yeah.
really helps the organization, especially since those costs are escalating.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
is, you probably really need to be a quite a planner
Mhm.
to kind of look ahead,
Mhm.
especially the other house we're doing. What are we doing next door?
So next door will be another 3-bedroom home. Mom and her 2 kids. She's a local resident, lives here in Wadsworth right now, and she picked that lot as we showed it to her. She's been in our program about a year now. She's doing what we call her volunteer hours or sweat equity hours. Every month she shows up at our restore or out here at the build site helping build this home and volunteering at our restore, accumulating hours. So yeah, so we're, again, our goal is to get that basement in before winter sets in so that come March, maybe February, but March, April, if the weather cooperates, we can start building that house as soon as possible.
Tell us about the process of
Yeah.
how families can qualify
Right.
to be a recipient of a home.
Yeah, so there's really 3 general criteria, Bruce. The first is need. Family has to present need for better housing. So the way we assess need is we actually visit them, where they live. We don't look under every bed or closet,
Sure.
but we ask questions about the apartment, the home they're living in. It could be need, could be structural issues. It could be safety. It could be environmental, maybe mold in the basement. Doors not working, windows not working, no smoke detectors. Need could also be cost. They could be paying over half of their monthly income, which is very common for rent, and we think that constitutes need. The second criteria is what I just mentioned a moment ago, and that's willingness to partner with us. And what we mean by that is sweat equity or volunteer hours. So if it's a single person, they have to complete 250 volunteer hours. If it's a family, they have to complete together 400 hours. And again, so once they get into our program, they're involved from day one until their home starts and is completed. And then the third criteria, and this clears up one of the common misconceptions, is that they have to have the ability to pay for a home. These aren't free. We don't build it 5 months later, build the home, hand the keys, and they never pay a bill. No, they pay a mortgage. What makes Habitat mortgages unique is really a couple things. One, it's based on what we call their affordability. So we have a financial formula that Habitat uses that helps us understand a family based on their debt and other bills, they can afford a mortgage of this amount. And then they pay a monthly mortgage on that. What also makes our mortgages unique is it's a 0 interest loan over 30 years. So when we think about affordable housing and just how Habitat, that's what we're providing for families here in Medina County, our average mortgage payment for, again, a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,300 square foot home here in Medina County is around $550 a month. Based on applications we've received, most people are struggling to find even a 2-bedroom apartment to rent for $550 a month.
Yeah, there's been a big shift lately with
Yeah.
again, bidding wars
Right,
on houses, and,
right.
and of course a lot of people are fixing their own house up. The availability is
Yeah.
very scant as
The-
well.
The inventory is very low. Yeah. And yeah, we're working with families to give them an opportunity to own a home and to build wealth, to have stability. If they have children, they're not moving from one apartment to the next apartment, maybe moving from one school to the next school. We believe that just having a stable shelter, a stable roof over your head, whether it's owning a home, living in a steady apartment, is just so key to succeeding in life.
Being a former school administrator, we really appreciate stability.
Yeah.
When kids are bouncing around, maybe from Akron to Barberton to Wadsworth to Cloverleaf, it's,
Yeah.
you don't know where to pick up,
Right,
and
right.
sometimes the records are hard to get,
Yeah.
and it's not real easy.
Yeah, I mean, how do you focus on your math homework when you're wondering where are we going to live next week? As a child, I would just think that would be very challenging. As a parent, the stress on that. So yeah, to have a stable shelter, affordable shelter to live in is vital.
How do you acquire properties?
Yeah.
And this, you're probably really happy
Mhm.
that you can have 2 houses
Mhm.
on this plot.
Yes.
How do you go about doing that?
So properties, it's a lot of word of mouth. We network with anyone and everyone, city officials, property maintenance, people within cities. You know, they're the ones out on the streets, you know, understanding what's happening in different properties. Maybe that one's going to go into foreclosure, or this one's, you know, the people want to sell, and we're talking with realtors. We look at sheriff's sale. When I get the opportunity like this to speak publicly about Habitat, I'm always putting a plug out there that if you know someone, if you are someone that has a piece of property, you know, that we would love to talk to you before it hits the market, make an offer. So yeah, we were able to buy these properties in Wadsworth a few years ago. We're acquiring property as we speak in Brunswick to add to our inventory. We're looking at a piece of property in Medina right now to buy. Yeah, and we're also, one thing we're trying to do, Bruce, is we're trying to find a larger piece of property. When I say larger, 2+ acres of land somewhere here in Medina County that we could build more homes on. Not maybe single family, but maybe multifamily development. So more a condo, townhouse style that we would still sell. They'd be homeowners, but we would maximize the 2 acres. And we believe on obviously depending on the layout of the land, topography and all that, we believe we could possibly put a 15-unit development on 2 acres of land. So that's what we're trying to do. So we're networking with anyone and everyone, and even today this show is a part of that.
So if someone viewed the show and knows, and we're not talking about free, we're not talking about giving it.
We'll buy it.
You're going to buy it at a fair market price.
Although if they want to donate it, that'd be wonderful.
Sure.
But yeah, we will definitely buy. We have money in our budget to buy property, and we're always looking to add property.
Isn't that a kind of a new focus though? If you want to buy a larger tract,
it is.
I always think of Habitat as single family homes.
Yeah, it is. It's new for us. Other habitats across the country, usually it's in larger cities where land is scarce, are doing it already. We've done a little bit of research, but yeah, we feel like just due to the need. I mean, when I talk about applications, we recently received during 2 weeks in August 62 applications for our program. To us, that shows there's a need. I think we all know there's a need for more affordable housing. So for us, it says, we'll keep doing this, buy a piece of property, put a house on it, but we also would love to kind of expand to say, how can we buy a larger piece and serve more families on one piece of property? But yeah, if anyone has any piece of property, we'd love to talk to them.
What about the organization of Habitat for Humanity? Do you have a board that oversees you, and who do you report to make sure you're getting enough properties and getting the equipment you need, etc.?
Yeah, so we have a board of directors. I believe right now there's 17 members on that board. We have president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. They serve 3-year terms, can serve 2-3 terms back to back, but that's the board that hired me. I report to the board, and then I'm responsible for overseeing our restore manager, construction coordinator, volunteer coordinator, and then we have several restore employees as well. But yeah, that's the board that they each serve on committees. They are actively involved in our program. So we have committees that deal with property acquisition, as we just talked about, construction, restore, marketing, fundraising, governance, to make sure we're doing everything according to our bylaws and policies. So yeah, our board is instrumental in what we do, and they're all, actively members of this county. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
According to the property next door, how can the Wadsworth community step up to the plate and help that out in 2022?
Yeah. So a few ways. One would be volunteering. So we're always looking to get more volunteers.
Again, we're not having to cold hammer, right?
Right.
You don't have to be an expert
you
carpenter.
You don't.
To be involved.
Right. That's the great thing about Habitat is we take people who have been, in the trades, and those who have never swung a hammer before. So you can come out. You're with skilled people that know what they're doing and are going to put you in a place to succeed. So anyone can volunteer. You can go on our website, again, medinahabitat.org, call our office, and we'd love to connect with you. Another way is donations, financial donations. So people can, again, make those donations to help us build that home right next door.
What about the City of Wadsworth? How can cities cooperate? And I talked to Mayor Labaugh, and she was very excited about the possibility of 2 homes being put here.
Yeah, the City of Wadsworth has been incredibly supportive. The building department has been incredibly helpful with our permitting process. And, the residents, even on a street like Durling, it's not the widest of streets, and these neighbors are incredibly patient with us and gracious to us to allow us to for the next 5-6 months, take up a lot of the streets. So they're great. But the city, Mayor Lawbaugh and her employees there in the city have been amazing for us.
1976 was a few years ago, Tom, but the need certainly today can't be more evident.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's escalated and continues to escalate, and especially here in Medina County, there's both a workforce issue, not enough people, and I know businesses want employees locally, and we also at the same time, it's workforce and it's affordable housing, whether that be home ownership, rentals, and so we're fortunate to be able to partner with a great city like Wadsworth and Medina and Brunswick and other cities to provide more affordable housing and hopefully provide more workforce people to work in their businesses.
How does it make you personally feel when a house gets completed and you do give those keys to the family?
Yeah, Bruce, it's one of the most, it's the highlight of the calendar for us on these days when we dedicate, just because it's going to change the trajectory of their lives.
Well, thanks for viewing Bruce on the Loose, and next week we'll have another very important guest to talk to. Thanks for viewing.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.